Okay, everybody, this is my little moment before the boxcar preachers get up here and play. So I wanted to, what? So all good there? I just want to thank everybody so much for coming out and for supporting liberty. I understand that it's not me that, when we love our libertarian candidates, it's not because of who they are, it's because of what they stand for. So if somebody doesn't vote for me, I don't need to take it personally, and if somebody does, I don't need to take that personally either. I'm just representing. And the idea crossed my mind when I was going to speak today to say something, keep it lighthearted and funny. But there's honestly nothing lighthearted and funny about why I'm running for Congress. It's not funny at all. I don't know if everybody knows what NDAA is, but it was a law that was passed New Year's Eve of 2011. And NDAA stands for the National Defense Authorization Act. It's an important piece of legislation that gets passed every 2 or 3 years. It basically funds our military, and that's important. The problem this time around was that there was a few sections in the law that were highly interpretable, and everybody knew this long before it actually passed. In fact, Senator Rand Paul stood up in front of Congress and said, we need to pass this legislation, but we need to strike these few sections, because now that it's passed, it can be interpreted to mean that American citizens can now be detained indefinitely without a trial on mere suspicion of being a terrorist. Now, for most people that doesn't seem to be that big of an issue, but when you think about it, the right to a fair trial is one of the rights that's given to us in our Bill of Rights. It was very important to our founders. Many of our rights were very important to our founders. And over time, these rights have been whittled away. And it's kind of absurd to me that we would even have foreigners that wouldn't have the right to a fair trial. There's people sitting in cells in this world right now that haven't had a trial. And to me, that's just inhumane. It's not human. And so for us to be able to do that to American citizens too, we have to repeal NDAA. That's one of the reasons that I'm running for Congress. There's two main reasons I'm running for Congress. The main one is freedom. I want us to maintain our rights and our freedoms as Americans, so they can get whittled away from us through legislation. Our Congress and our President right now don't seem to have much respect for the Constitution. In fact, I think they've called it a nuisance, and that just makes my stomach turn. The other way that our freedoms can get taken away from us is, I'm losing my train of thought, through legislation, but then also, I'm losing it. What's the other reason that I'm running? And it's through spending. Our government is actually spending so much money that everything's costing twice as much. And so our freedom to maintain that money that we've earned and go and spend it on items that we need, the money has become worth about half of what it was not too long ago. So, we can talk about taxes all day long and whether we should raise them and whether we should lower them or whether they should be even, considered theft or, we can talk about that. But honestly, in the big bucket, taxes are a drop. Our government is spending so much money that it doesn't have. It's borrowing it, mainly from China. Does everyone know that we are borrowing 42 to 43 cents of every single dollar that we spend? So that's selling our grandchildren out, but we're also printing money like crazy. They might as well take taxes out of the mix. Not really. We need to pay our taxes. However, government spending has gotten so grossly out of hand that, and I don't see Democrats or Republicans doing anything about it. Republicans love to talk about how awful big government is, but then they get in office and prove it. So the Libertarian Party is the only party that I resonate with because we believe in the rights of the individual, and we believe that that the government needs to do as its job, but its job is much smaller than it has turned out to be. We don't need a huge government taking so much of our money and spending so much of our money in ways that aren't necessarily constitutional. So my goal is to get to Washington and, can I stand up here and promise anything? Can I promise you that I can cut government spending by 50%? Can I promise you that I can get NDAA repealed? Can I promise you that I can pass any legislation? No. But what I can promise you is that I can go and be a thorn in the side of the system in Congress. I will stand up and I will use my voice and I will vote against every debt ceiling increase. I will vote against every whenever Congress wants to raise their own pay. They're already making $190,000 a year. I don't think we need to raise the pay. I don't want to spend any more money. I want to cut spending in Washington. And if I can do that, I will. And I want Americans to enjoy the freedom that our great-great-grandfathers, our fathers, our mothers, they all endured hardships and gave their lives that we might have a place to call a true free place to live. And look what we're doing today. We're having music and we're having kids running around, and it's a wonderful place to be. I don't think that any of us can really understand what it means to not be free. I don't think that we can understand what it means to want to risk your life to get to America. That people are risking their lives at this very moment just to get here and get a chance where you have an opportunity to make a life for yourself. And I don't want that to be taken for granted. So I'm not a politician. I'm just me. I'm a businesswoman and a musician and a mom. And I want to go make Washington more of a real place. And I will never vote to raise my own pay as a congressperson. And I believe in term limits. I can go on and on and on, but I won't. I don't believe in staying in office forever, and I certainly don't believe in the pensions that they give themselves either. When I go and serve, I will come back, and I don't need any more pay after that. So thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about about issues that where I stand on issues, you can always know that I'll stand on the side of personal, individual freedom and responsibility. So thanks again for being here. Buy raffle tickets and buy chicken. And get Canada. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Next up, we've got the Boxcar Preachers. They'll be heading up right now. Come on up, guys.